Hello, my quilting friends. My name is Leah Day, and I am quilting today on the new Grace 19SD. This is a 19-inch set-down long arm quilting machine, and I am so excited about it. I have never experienced such an amazing stitch regulator, and for the first time ever, I'm willing to unplug my foot pedal and let the machine do the quilting for me. The awesome thing about the 19SD is it comes with a terrific quilting table. It's going to face the machine towards you, and it's going to fit into only a 3.5-foot quilting space. So it's not going to take up tons of room in your studio, but you can expand it whenever you're working on a king-size quilt like this to be big enough to support the quilt, and so that way you can move it smoothly and easily under the needle. So let's get started learning a little bit more about the 19SD. I can't wait to show you how I'm quilting with it and how some of my shop gals are quilting with it too. So let's check in on our stitches. Whenever I am getting started with any new long arm, this is what I stitch. I call this wiggly U shapes, and I just stitch straight towards myself, take a little U-turn, and stitch back. And what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a look at my stitches. I'm able to check my tension, and here's what I love. I can just hit this play button. I can start stitching just by pushing the quilt, and when I'm in precise, the machine is going to stitch based on my movement. So here, I'm not moving, so the machine doesn't stitch. As soon as I start moving, that's when my stitches start. Isn't that cool? I am not using my foot on the foot pedal here. This is just my hands moving the quilt over the table. So here I'm going to hit pause, and then we can take a look at our stitches on the back, and you can see perfectly balanced with the stitches on the top. I love that. So that's 16 stitches per inch. Most people are going to find that just to be a little bit on the small side. A lot of quilters like their stitches to be bigger. So let me show you what 14 stitches per inch looks like, and then we can do a few lines here and just compare, so that way you can see all of the different options that you have with this machine. So here I'm going to dial it down again. We're going to take it down to 12. You do want to watch out for the needle. Obviously, if you move the quilt, the needle can come down. If you pause for more than 5 seconds, the machine will turn off. So here I'm going to pause and wait 5 seconds, and you'll see this go back to a play button right there. And as you can see, the stitches are perfectly regulated, and that is even with a dark plain solid backing fabric. That is dark blue fabric on the back, and my stitches are perfect every single time, no matter what setting I'm using. So here, this was 10 stitches per inch. Here was 16 stitches per inch. I like this, but I know a lot of quilters like the bigger stitch. It's just going to give you a different look. So now let's do some fun free motion quilting. I'm going to dial my stitch length all the way back up again, and I want to just show you some cool feathers. So I'm going to wobble out over here, stitch my vine line, come all the way back, and then now I'm going to start branching out with my feathers. Just swirl out and around, bouncing against that last one, traveling back. I love free motion feathers, and this is one of those designs that I do stitch better when I'm push quilting. So that is my stitches, testing out all of those different sizes. You have control over the size and shape of your stitches with this 19SD. So now that you've seen me do some quilting, let's switch over and show you what a total beginner to free motion quilting is going to do with this machine.
Hi, I'm Lacy. I've been learning to sew for the very first time, and this is my first time on a long arm. So this is my first time free motion quilting, so we will see how that goes.
So Lacy first quilted her name in cursive, and I marked it on the quilt sandwich so that way she had something to follow. And while, yes, she might be a little bit wobbly, every single stitch was the same size. This is something that beginners struggle with the most. You have big stitches, small stitches, but whenever you have a stitch regulator that's powerful enough to keep up with you, all of your stitches are going to be the same size. And yes, quilting with outlines is also easy too. So Lacy did both quilting on a marked line and quilting freehand. She did a great job on this.
Yay!
So how will the 19SD work with a king-size quilt? Well, here I have one on the machine. This is a king-size quilt that I bought on eBay. It was already layered and basted up, ready to quilt. And I have shifted it here to get it right in the center. And you can see, yes, I've got some quilt here coming off the front, I want to take it and kind of get it up on the table. You don't want it flopping off the edges of the table, but here in the middle, I still have plenty of room around the needle. I can clearly see my needle. I can easily move this quilt around, shifting my hands to form the designs. Now, let's talk about the tabletop. You've got 20 inches to either side of your needle. It's a 41-inch center table. So if you have a small size sewing room, you can drop both leaves on the sides and just have your table set up at 41.5. If you have a little bit more space, then you can extend either leaf. You don't have to extend both, you can just extend one. I like the left side opened out, and that's gonna extend it by 18.5 inches. So I love the flexibility of the table. So you can decide whichever leaf you have open. You can fully extend the table, in which case it will be 78 inches wide. Now, let's talk about lighting. I have a luminous light bar set up over it, and it will fit, the small size will fit over the tabletop with one leaf extended. That's why I only have one leaf open. Another awesome accessory that I carry on leahday.com is called Christa quilt blocks. And these are basically wooden blocks that clamp to the side of your table, and they are compatible with the tabletop with the 19. And I'm gonna place this here kind of right on the corner. Why am I gonna do this? It's just gonna help the quilt stay on the tabletop. It's not gonna wanna flop off the front edge on me quite so much. So with that block there, I can now have my arm up just a little bit, but I'm gonna keep the quilt better on the table. These come in a set of 2, and you might need as many as 4, depending on how you have your table set up. I do recommend pushing your entire system against a wall, and being in a corner can really help. We wanna keep our quilt on the table, stop it from flopping off those sides, because that's where it can really pull against you and feel really difficult to move the quilt. Another awesome tool you might want to try is a suspension system that's going to lift your quilt and reduce the drag, making it much easier to move and make those beautiful free motion quilting designs. So that's all the details I have time to share with you today on the 19 SD long arm. I have been blown away by the stitch regulator. I have never in my life been willing to unplug the foot pedal and do away with it, but with the precise stitch regulator on that high setting, I don't see any fluctuation in the size or shape of my stitches. I think this is an amazing long arm. If you already have the skill for free motion quilting, if you already love to push quilt your quilts, you're gonna love having that perfect consistent size of your stitches given to you by this stitch regulation. I'm also including new videos. These are gonna be exclusive to my pre-order customers only. They're gonna guide you through some basic steps to get started, as well as an assembly video and some quilting skill videos. I want you to be able to get the most out of this machine from day one. So I hope you'll come and check it out at leahday.com/19SD. Until next time, let's go quilt.
Yay! Okie doke.
You're so awesome!
All right.
10 out of 10. Seriously!
Okie dokie.